too many years, Sunderland had been a depressed football city. The passion for success burned so deeply, yet the club was sliding dangerously towards the second division. But in April 1995, a fresh inspiration breezed into Wearside's football world. New manager Peter Reid immediately stopped the slide and sent the club soaring to new heights. 1 year later, Sunderland had a season to remember. For 5 frustrating years, Sunderland had been in exile from football's highest level. Now the Wearsiders were ready to take their place among the Premiership elite. Under Peter Reid's guidance, Sunderland took the First Division by storm. A record-breaking unbeaten run saw captain Kevin Ball parade the famous old trophy at Roker Park. Sunderland fans had seen the most dramatic of transformations as Reid took them from the brink of relegation to the Championship in just over a year. It had been a triumph based on the same nucleus of players, but there had been one key addition. Paul Bracewell had returned from Newcastle for his third spell in red and white. As assistant manager, he carried the boss's plans out onto the pitch. They were to bring the best out of seasoned pros and emerging talents. But most of all, this was a triumph for teamwork. No big money buys, but a squad of players determined to be winners. The season to remember began with an easily forgettable start at home to relegated Leicester City, already installed as promotion favourites. Paul Bracewell was the only fresh face in the lineup, ready for his third tour of duty on Wearside. But it was a tough homecoming.
Parker with a free kick then. Ball is back there. Agnew dispossessed by Lawrence, charged down there by Bracewell. What a great strike and what a great goal for the new boy, Corica. Agnew's corner knocked in towards Angel, not cleared by Willis, but he got away with it. Kubicki, Poole has come deep for it, half away, Agnew, goal for Sunderland, 1-1. Steve Agnew following up and cracking the ball into the far corner. Leicester on the break, Robbins through the middle, Joachim trying to get round the back of Scott and succeeding. Early ball in for Robbins, needed the touch and he got it in there and he scored. It's 2-1 Leicester.
A disappointing final league position last season left Sunderland having to negotiate the tricky first round of the Coca-Cola League Cup. Third Division Preston would be confident opponents. Sunderland's early control was eventually confirmed 5 minutes into the second half. Darius Kubicki setting up Brett Angel for a long-awaited first goal in his 10th game for the club. But the First Division side loosened their grip on the game. After 68 minutes, Preston central defender Ryan Kidd fired in the equaliser with the assistance of the bar. A 1-1 draw was still a safe enough performance. For the second Saturday running, they faced relegated Premiership opposition, this time Norwich City, in a difficult trip to Carrow Road. A fiercely contested game saw Sunderland get stronger as the match wore on. This great run from Phil Gray ended with Brett Angel colliding heavily with Brian Gunn. Thankfully, no permanent damage. Substitute Lee Howie might even have won it for them late on, but his header hit the post and it finished Norwich 0, Sunderland 0. The return leg of the League Cup tie against Preston at Roker Park might have looked like a spot of unfinished business, but the match gave Peter Reid's team a major shock and proved a real turning point.
This is Ian Bryson on a good run through the middle. Cartwright is out wide. That's a goal for Preston after 15 minutes. Lee Cartwright. Here's Cartwright again, the goal scorer. He's got Bryson in the middle, and Bryson scores the double act again. 2-0 Preston. Sunderland have to score 3 now. They're desperate for a good start to this second half now. Alabama into the middle, that's a poor clearance to Howie, and Howie's got one back less than 2 minutes into the second half. Knocked in towards the near post, Howie's in there, and that's an own goal. Ryan Kidd got the final touch, it's all square now. Careless ball that, Russell's picked it up and Russell's got the pace. Gray's in the middle trying to follow up, and here comes Howie, he's done it, 5 minutes to go, Howie the hero.
With big spending Wolves at Roker Park 4 days later, Sunderland needed to show more of that second half cup spirit if they were to land their first league win. Welsh international Andy Melville had been left out of Peter Reid's starting 11 so far, but with Richard Ord injured, the central defender got his chance against Graham Taylor's side, and he took it.
Atkinson to take this free kick then. Both central defenders forward offering extra options. But it was Howie up there, it's a goal! Melville gets it, and Sunderland are ahead. They pushed the men forward there, and it certainly came off. Out wide for Russell, who's got a yard or two on Thompson. Russell again, Russell checks, still got to play it in, still with Russell. And off the post and in there by Phil Gray. It's 2 to Sunderland now. Craig Russell worked his way through the Wolves' defence and just rolled it almost, passed out, hit the post, and time froze almost until Phil Gray came in and finished off the job.
In an ill-tempered second half, Gray got himself into a tangle with Wolves substitute Jeff Thomas. The former England international clearly kicked out at the Sunderland striker, and the Wolves fans feared the worst. Thomas was shown the red card and walked off. Gray got a yellow and was stretchered off. Sunderland got the 3 points. Experienced striker Paul Stewart was an early arrival on loan from Liverpool as Peter Reid continued his search for proven quality at bargain rates. Stewart was on the bench as his new club travelled for a midweek match at Port Vale, looking to build on their improving form. But they met a Vale side who exploded into action. Just 2 minutes gone, and Lee Mills threw the Roker defence with his back heel. And new skipper Andy Porter crashed home the shot. But Sunderland came back strongly, and 6 minutes after the interval they drew level. A superbly taken goal from Phil Gray, running at the defence before firing in his second goal in as many games. But Sunderland had to settle for just the 1 point after finishing the game so much better than they'd actually started it. So, 5 games unbeaten now, and the Rokermen seem to be facing many of the early promotion favourites in the first weeks. Next to Portman Road and Ipswich. Sunderland started brightly in some dreadful weather, and Michael Gray was just off target. But a former Magpie was to call the tune. Paul Stewart's full debut proved a disaster as he injured himself surrendering possession. The beneficiary was £500,000 signing Alex Matthey, who put the home side ahead after 35 minutes. 6 minutes later, it was 2-0 to Ipswich. The same combination again, Ian Marshall setting up Matthey's second on the rebound. 9 minutes into the second half, and Matthey duly completed his hat-trick with the pick of the bunch. Again, Marshall was the provider, and the Scots finish completed Sunderland's misery at 3-0. An early look at the league table shows that it wasn't the brightest of starts for Peter Reid's side, down in 19th place with just 1 win from 5 games. But the manager wasn't too concerned, even after that Ipswich game.
I just said to the lads, I said, listen, if you play like that, believe me, you'll win football matches, because Alex Matthey had 3 great strikes and they've gone the back of the net, and we've had chances and we can't stick them in, but some of the football we played was excellent. So it was a matter of just keeping your nerve and believing in what you were doing. And I've always been a person who likes to do that, and that's what we did.
Sunderland had the chance to put that belief to the test when Ronnie Whelan's Southend came to Roker. A run-of-the-mill match was transformed by one moment of magic.
Knocked down by ball to Russell. Now Russell's away through the middle, right at the heart of the defence. Craig Russell. What a great goal! Craig Russell is first of the season, and in style as well. He really carved them open then. Plenty of blue shirts to deal with it, but they couldn't stop Russell, and a clinical finish.
Well, no further goals on the day, but two major talking points. Young Michael Gray was substituted after something in his performance angered manager Reid on the touchline. The result, a highly public dressing down as he took his place in the dugout. Sunderland had to play the last half hour with 10 men after this tackle by Kevin Ball. It was his second bookable offence, and he was shown the red card. Less than 14,000 fans watched the match, but at least they saw their side collect 3 points. Which meant they were going for their third home league win in a row at the expense of Portsmouth. Striker John Mullen, a £40,000 signing from Burnley, got his first start for the club after some encouraging displays as a substitute. But it was central defender Andy Melville who moved forward to give his team a 6th-minute flyer. The Welshman slid in at the far post to convert Martin Scott's cross, and that's his second goal in 5 matches. But the game was to prove a tale of 2 penalties. Phil Gray's missed spot kick on the half-hour looked costly, especially when Craig Russell fouled Fitzroy Simpson with only 4 minutes left on the clock. Substitute Alan McLaughlin gladly stepped forward to play his team's get-out-of-jail card, and Sunderland surrendered 2 points. But the white flag was put to one side when they made sure of their first away win of the season at Kenilworth Road, where Luton had managed only 1 point from their 3 home games.
That's John Mullin out in that wide position on the right. Mullin still going, and Mullin scores! His first for Sunderland, and what a standard to set! John Mullin. Now Phil Gray's got right away from the defence. He's in space, the keeper's off his line. Beautiful exploitation from Phil Gray.
Peter Reid got the chance to reveal the major signing for which the fans had been craving when he landed the experienced striker David Kelly from Wolves. At £900,000, he equalled the club's record fee paid out for Don Goodman.
When you go out and as a manager you have targets, it'd be fair to say that he was at the top of the list.
But Kelly wasn't signed in time for the club's Coca-Cola Cup tie against Liverpool. The second-round draw gave the fans a real sense that they were back in the big time. For Peter Reid and his players, the first leg at Liverpool represented a major tactical challenge. It had been the Reds who ended Sunderland's last great cup campaign with defeat in the 1992 FA Cup final. This time, the manager wanted to find out his team's true potential.
Manaman takes over, and on a run as well, and gets the shot in. What a fantastic goal! Steve McManaman. Now Atkinson. Bracewell again. Bracewell weaving his way through and getting the 1-2 at Bracewell. Paul Bracewell, penalty, and what will happen to David James? Great close control by Bracewell, and now we wait for the referee's card. No card there. They've got the penalty, Sunderland, but James is there to see if he can save it. Michael Gray, and he saved it, and Gray follows up and over the top, and there'll be some controversy over that one. Tear down for Thomas. That's a terrific goal. Michael Thomas, another great strike by Liverpool. And Mullin trying to reach this one. James out of his goal. Hooked in there. Oh, off the top, Michael Gray, and into right. And Liverpool escape.
There were more than enough plus points in defeat at Liverpool to put Sunderland in good spirits for another tough away game at second-placed Millwall. Record signing David Kelly now got his chance to make his Sunderland debut in a real attacking formation that included Phil Gray and John Mullen.
Richie forward. Kelly and Witter there together. Michael Gray. Now it's Kelly again. Nudge there from Witter. We've got the penalty, and who's going to take it? Now, Sunderland have missed 5 on the trot. Casey Keller always comes up with something special against Sunderland, and it's going to be Martin Scott who has a go at breaking Sunderland's penalty hoodoo. Scott, no problem at all. It's It's 1-0 Sunderland with a minute to go to half-time. Millwall's corner then. Skipper who's got them back on level terms. Sunderland's free kick then. Michael Gray whipping it in towards the near post. It's gone all the way through and it's in. It's a goal for Sunderland. They're back in the lead. And Michael Gray's free kick caught them all unawares. Whipped in towards that near post. 2 or 3 players challenged for it. Casey Keller must have lost his bearings and lost sight of the ball, and it ended up in the back of his net.
Well, Reading at Roker Park was the next chance the team had to confirm their blossoming reputation as a genuine force in the First Division promotion race. Sunderland fans needed to be convinced that their team's poor home form of the previous season had been turned around. At least this game showed Peter Reid's side had genuine spirit.
Scott knocking it there to Kelly. Oh, how close can he get? And Kelly was on his knees then after making contact. Scott whipping in the cross and Kelly sized it up. Gilks making a good run inside the defence here. Gilks picking out his cross. And that's a goal there for Reading. Lovell scores it. Bracewell trying to win, get another ball back in midfield. Atkinson too, competing for everything. And Smith nips in there, the mistake from Gooding. Martin Smith out wide for Bracewell. Bracewell, and back for Phil Gray. And David Kelly, that's his first. What a perfect finish there for David Kelly. And Sunderland are level. Reading had the free kick then, central position. And it's a goal there by the substitute, Dylan Kerr. What a double blow then by Reading. The second time they've turned this game around. Craig Russell. Russell around one man. Russell bringing it back there. Clever little flick. And the equaliser from Melville. Melville pops up and brings Sunderland back on level terms again. Kavitsky, they need the service. Now Michael Gray might supply it. Into the middle there. Oh, great save there by Mikhailov.
Well, it would need a great performance to make progress in the Coca-Cola Cup against Liverpool. Sunderland with real grievances to put right from the first leg. And there's nothing like a packed Roker Park and an evening cup tie to bring out the best in both sides. And with skipper Kevin Ball back in the lineup, they had just the inspirational figure to lead from the front. The team were in good enough form to take the fight to the enemy. Unfortunately, it was rather too literally.
Now Smith lifting it forward to Michael Gray. 2 men on him. He's got round Scales, and he's still got possession, Michael Gray. Pressurised there by Jones and by Barnes. And Jones diving in there. And Scott, and that's got well out of hand. After tangling with Michael Gray, Jones got up, Barnes was in there. That's what they didn't like, was that challenge from Smith they said was late, and Jones then took the law into his own hands. It's a red card for Smith. He's out of this game, and what about Jones? And it's red as well. Scales again, Fowler has lost his man, Fowler through the middle, and Fowler, it's another superb goal for Robbie Fowler. Russell. Ball in towards Gray, and Bracewell, and James denies him.
Defeat, but the manager's man in the middle proving again what a handful he can be against top-flight opposition. Paul Bracewell's third spell at Roker with the added responsibility of being assistant boss has gone like a dream. Just think, only one operation in the season.
I knew he was going to have an operation this season. Luckily for us, it was only a month he was out. And, I mean, that typifies him. His first game back was Manchester United in the Cup, where he was awesome.
Reid has surrounded himself with people he can trust, long-term friends who he knows can do the job.
It's a working relationship as well as a friendship, because I know the gaffer wouldn't have signed me or brought me in just because we're mates, and I wouldn't have come here just for that reason. He knows I'm determined as well as him to be successful, so it's worked out well.
He's got a good eye for the game, good eye for the player, and he's one you want on your side. He loves winning football matches, and that's why he was my first signing, and he was a big priority.
And he'll still have priority status when they take on the likes of Everton, who they both served so well in the 80s, unless, of course, he's planning any more trips to the operating theatre.
I think after my third one they said, oh, things come in threes, you know, but after 14, there's not a lot you can say, really, is there?
Sunderland had climbed to 6th in the table when they travelled to Selhurst Park. Relegated last season, Crystal Palace had only won 2 of their first 10 games. A dramatic match exploded in just the first minute, with Darius Kubicki firing in an early shot which keeper Nigel Martin failed to deal with. He then hauled down Phil Gray to let the real fun begin. Sunderland's disastrous run of penalty misses continued, with Martin Scott the latest to be hit by the curse. It wasn't until the 75th minute that Sunderland finally managed the goal their approach work deserved. Kevin Ball's shot was only pushed away for Michael Gray to feed David Kelly, and the new striker slotted his second goal in Sunderland colours. But the game finished in the same crazy way it started. 9 minutes to go, and a harsh decision against Dean Gordon for his tackle on Craig Russell means another testing spot kick. Assistant manager Paul Bracewell bravely stepped forward and promptly took the team tally to 7 misses in 8 penalties. Unbelievable. The encouragement of going third in the table was soon dented by a worrying injury to David Kelly. The new striker had turned an ankle on international duty for the Republic of Ireland. It was to be a problem that refused to go away. Kelly was out of the next home game against Glenrother's Watford. It was a real blood and thunder affair that produced plenty of action, if not the kind of home form that Peter Reid needed.
They really do need to come up with something from these set pieces. Scott, what a great goal there for Martin Scott, and that's the breakthrough they've been working for. And Scott, his second of the season, finishes off that move perfectly. Sunderland with everybody bar Craig Russell behind the ball. That's a goal for Watford. It's Morley who's got it there.
I thought we were a little bit unfortunate in that game. And the problem then, we were anxious at home, and we weren't winning football matches. We were drawing them. And I didn't mind, because in them games, when I look back, we had chances. And like I said before, as long as you have chances, and even though you're missing them, there's going to come a stage when they're going to go in. And that's going to give the lads the confidence. But it was just a matter of keeping the confidence up till I got that changed, or till we got that changed.
If Peter Reid was restricted in the transfer market, then he wasn't slow to turn to youth for fresh blood. Sam Aston was a teenage left-winger from Newcastle who turned his back on the black and whites because Sunderland gave him the chance to combine his A-level studies at school with his football career. After several encouraging appearances as a substitute, Aston's first game came in the starting lineup at Huddersfield. The Yorkshiremen were making great progress in their impressive new stadium. But it wasn't until the final 20 minutes of an uninspiring match that the goals arrived. Town substitute Rodney Rowe set up Andy Booth for his 8th goal of the season to put the home side ahead. But Sunderland extended their unbeaten run to 8 games with an 83rd minute equaliser. Michael Gray switched wings when a tiring Aston was subbed and provided the cross for Phil Gray to make it 1-1. Back to Roker Park now to face Barnsley, and with only 2 wins from their 6 home First Division games, Sunderland really needed all 3 points to give their promotion claims real conviction.
Kubicki full of busy as he goes through here. Phil Gray now. Gray with a great chance. And Russell at 1-0. Craig Russell comes into the team and puts Sunderland ahead. Phil Gray's first effort there as Sunderland sprinted forward It was pushed away by Watson, but Russell was in the perfect number 9 spot to tuck it away.
Down by Howie to Phil Gray. Phil Gray up wide for Agnew. Lee Howie in the middle. Howie, that's a tremendous goal from Lee Howie. What a fine move. And supplied by the boy whose career started at Barnsley, Steve Agnew. Sheridan, it's a good ball through there. And that's a goal for Barnsley. Andy Liddell. They pulled one back with a smart move.
Sunderland's first live TV appearance of the season promised fireworks on Guy Fawkes Day at Charlton. The Londoners also had sky-high plans to bring Premiership football to the Docklands, but had drawn more than their share of league matches. Sunderland, meanwhile, had David Kelly restored to the attack and seemed determined to improve on their dismal TV record of 1 win in 11 First Division live games. But they couldn't have got off to a worse start. Hesitancy in the defence after just 7 minutes allowed Charlton too much space, and Sean Newton converted an inch-perfect cross. Sunderland hit back straight away, but in the end could easily have erased their live TV hoodoo.
Now Darius Kubicki moving into the attack. Russell operating down this right touchline and doing it effectively as well. He's got to get the cross in. Phil Gray, Kelly is there, Michael Gray, 1-1. That's the equaliser, and Michael Gray looking to celebrate in his own style.
Really good aggressive play here down the right-hand side. Gets the wrong side of the defender, cuts the ball back, good dummy at the near post. It bobbles around, and there's Michael Gray to finish with a good strong left foot shot.
Rufus having to wait for it and giving it away to Phil Gray. Gray with a real chance here, and wide.
Now, Sheffield United had been struggling disastrously, but Sunderland knew they'd still prove a tough nut to crack at Roker Park. Predictably, the match was a fairly bruising affair, with Sunderland needing to show they had the heart for the fight to land their 3 points.
Bracewell, Kubicki on the right is in plenty of space, and Bracewell instinctively knew he was there. Here comes Kubicki now, plenty of men forward for Sunderland. Kubicki trying it himself, pushed out, and it's a goal. David Kelly, I'm not going to give it though. Was he in an offside position there? As Kubicki had the shot, it's definitely been disallowed. Free kick knocked in deep again towards that posse of players. Only as far as Kevin Ball. Belville is up there. Michael Gray drops it goalwards. Low is back. Gray again, just poking it in there. And finally Phil Gray, and it's in, it's a goal for Sunderland. Phil Gray breaks the deadlock at last. Bedlam at Roker Park, as that goal has really taken some waiting. Bounce it was there, and Phil Gray for Sunderland. First time there. Play on, says the linesman. David Kelly in possession. Phil Gray streaking through the middle. Gray! That's a superb goal! Phil Gray's second. What a magnificent strike! That was high-speed football at its very best.
At Stoke's Victoria ground, something had to give. Sunderland had gone 11 league games without defeat, while Lou Macari's team had lost only once in the same number of games. Unfortunately for the Wearsiders, the only goal of the game came from Stoke after 20 minutes. The lively Ray Wallace scoring to collect all 3 points. But that wasn't the only blow for Peter Reid. His right-hand man and most influential player, Paul Bracewell, had to be taken off against his old club with a recurrence of a nagging groin injury. A hernia operation was diagnosed and Brace was out for a month. Fortunately, the team had another vastly experienced midfielder ready to return from injury. A fit again, Steve Agnew helped soften the blow. And Agnew lined up for his first start since the second Saturday of the season in the away game at West Brom. But there was more bad news when young Sam Aston was stretchered off and replaced by Martin Smith. The gloom didn't last too long though, because Smith soon found himself on the winning side.
Agnew's corner. Howie's in there, and it's a goal! Goal for Sunderland, Lee Howie. The perfect header from the perfect delivery from the corner.
December began with a major bust-up in Sunderland's normally settled camp. Striker Phil Gray's formal transfer request had left his manager less than impressed, and the Northern Ireland international training with the youth squad, uncertain of his first-team place. So plenty of keen interest in the team sheet for the live TV game at Roker against Crystal Palace. David Kelly's in-and-out fitness was on the plus side, and he came back alongside midweek goalscorer Lee Howie, leaving a disillusioned Phil Gray a rather deflated substitute. Sunderland could have gone top if they beat Palace, but they also had to score 3.
Now Smith coming forward, impressively for Sunderland, ran a couple of challenges, that's a difficult one in there, and Kelly, penalty that time, yes. Andy Roberts, the man who got in there, and at the third appeal, Sunderland get their spot kick. Penalties have been a nightmare for Sunderland this season. Martin Scott, though, with a chance here, and he's taken it. That's 1-0. And the celebrations there for Martin Scott. It's his third of the season. This time, the penalty spot, no mistake.
Well, now to the game of the season so far. Second place Sunderland at home to top of the table Millwall, and again the strike force was the big issue. But this time, Craig Russell was the man called in to fill the gap left by another injury to David Kelly. Russell was given his wish to play through the middle as a central striker. And my word, did he take his chance.
Kubicki. Turned Rogan. Looking for the penalty, they've got it. Phil Gray, the man brought down. Anton Rogan, the former Sunderland player, with the challenge. Referee in a good position. Difficult ball played in there. Down he went. The referee could not have had a better view. That's a penalty. What can Casey Keller come up with here? Martin Scott, no problem at all. The other side from Sunday's match, the end result the same. Agnew finding Phil Gray, finding Martin Smith rather. Now Martin Smith. Craig Russell's made a tremendous run. Russell, what a marvellous goal! Craig Russell! That really is right out of the top drawer. What a brilliant move and a brilliant finish. It's 2-0 now. Now it's Smith out wide, looking to test Lavin. Scott firing that one in, and Gray's there. 3-0. Phil Gray, the man on the transfer list, makes his point. Another excellent goal for Sunderland, and the Roker men hit 3 in the first division for the first time this season, and it's against the league leaders. Gray got in there on the end of the cross. This really is turning into damage limitation on behalf of Millwall. Now Phil Gray, moving it through to Smith, an excellent ball, and Russell's there again. That's another superb goal. Oh, they're walking on water today. Craig Russell's second. And they can't believe it. Everything coming off. And Russell through the middle. What a success story for him. Great ball from Gray. Excellent cross. And Russell. 4-0 now. Sunderland absolutely rampant. Gray turning his man well. Gray getting into the middle. Russell's there. Hat-trick. Craig Russell gets his third goal, and it's the first Sunderland hat-trick for nearly 4 years. January 1992, John Gordon got the last one, but this, every bit, Craig Russell's day. Phil Gray doing so much to set him up, getting it into the middle, and there was Russell. That was goal number 3, and that's 5 for Sunderland. Peter Reid's side hadn't scored more than 2 goals in a league game this season, but he said someone's going to be on the end of our form, and today it's the league leaders. Kubicki. Russell looking to turn Thatcher, still with Russell, still Craig Russell, and it's 4 for Russell. 6-0, and this is an absolute pasting for Millwall, and Craig Russell has had the game of his life. 4 for Russell, and how fitting that he should finish it off with such a flourish. Thatcher in a tangle again. Keller beaten for the 6th time.
We were very, very convincing, and Craig Russell got us 4 goals, but I think it was the manner in which we beat him. We played some great stuff, scored some great goals, and I just felt that maybe then the fans started to believe. I think you might be right on that. That could have been a turning point for the supporters to think, hey, we just might have something going here. I knew we'd be very hard to beat, and I thought we'd go close to the playoffs. But certain decisions and certain things happen through the season where, as a manager, you make them and you're thinking of the right ones or the wrong ones. Luckily, I think they were the right ones.
Reading had struggled to maintain the form that had taken them to the brink of the Premiership. Now the Royals faced a Sunderland side sky high with confidence.
Phil Gray. Kubicki. In by Melville. Smith is there. Free header. And an easy goal when it came to it for Sunderland. And in the 13th minute, the league leaders have taken the lead. Michael Gray. Keen to take on his man. Gets past 2 of them. And a third. This is lovely stuff. Now can he finish it? He so very nearly did. Morley. That's a lovely ball on to Quinn. Takes it over the man. That's lovely skill. And the finish! Dubček. Play it out onto the wing again. There's time to get a good cross in. He does so. It's to the far post! Off the bar!
Sunderland's last task before Christmas was a daunting one, away at promotion rivals Derby County. Manager Jim Smith had revitalised the baseball ground and the former Roca hero, Marco Gabbiadini.
Here is a Sunderland corner, and they've got bodies in. Agnew was close to getting a shot through. Oh, and it's given away. Michael Gray scores. Dreadful mistake in the Derby County defence, and it's punished immediately by Michael Gray. Willems comes back for Derby. Gabbiadini and Sturridge are here. Sturridge still battling. Sturridge might get the equaliser. Gabbiadini might. And it's gone in! Gareth Hall, the Chelsea man on loan to Sunderland, comes on for his debut. Kubicki and Michael Gray are the two involved at the free kick, and it will be Michael Gray, and it's not a bad looking one, and it flicked through, and the back heel almost produced what would have been an extraordinary score from Richard Ord. Belted along again now, then Sturridge might get in behind the defender. Ord, he's in the area, he's down, it's a penalty. Richard Ord on Dean Sturridge. Referee Richards, no hesitation. Penalty for Derby County. Willems, who has scored penalties in the last 3 games here now. Kubicki, this one's not over yet, and here's a chance. Oh, wonderful save. Phil Gray's header beaten away by Russell Holt. It looked a certain goal. Powell, he headed that ball down. There was nothing wrong with that, and he gallops on. The 2 in the middle. Still it's Darryl Powell. He'll try and get Gabbiadini in to finish it here. Slip for Sturridge. Derby have won the day now, surely.
Goodbye 95, hello 96, Manchester United away. The FA Cup had brought a classic third-round tie. Sunderland fans turned out in force at Old Trafford after the club's Christmas fixtures were wiped out by the weather. It was a happy new year for Paul Bracewell, back at the heart of the team after his hernia operation and an impressively quick time. And alongside him, the team's Mr. Motivator, Kevin Ball, back after suspension.
Now Cantona. But Cole, the movement is good. Nicky Butt! 1-0 to Manchester United. Michael Gray. Getting the better of Sharp. Going to pass it now, and he has done for Agnew. The shot is on. And it's in! Pilkington flung himself to his left, but couldn't reach it. Sunderland are level. Sharp. Oh, brave defending from Ord. Agnew, no offside. Craig Russell, the ball wouldn't quite come down quickly enough for him. Russell shot. Russell's goal. It's turned round here with a vengeance. Be careful. His enthusiasm taken by Sharp, and Eric Cantona has equalised.
A combination of the cup and postponements meant a 5-week gap between home games for Sunderland until Norwich arrived for another live TV game in mid-January. Home form was under the spotlight. Reid's team hadn't lost a league game at Roker since the opening day of the season. The team were 11 points behind leaders Derby with 4 games in hand, all of them at home. And they'd scored in every First Division game at Roker so far, and all that counted for nothing.
Now it's Eady. Ford got a foot to it, still has to be fought for that one. Scott more convincing, Molby, a nice turn of Rachel in there so quickly. Melville losing his footing towards. That's a goal for Norwich, and the State there really punished. Bill Gray now with a chance to have a run. Bill Gray still going, looking for support. Smith takes it on first time, gets another go. Gray couldn't hit the target.
And to make matters worse, David Kelly limped off to bring to an end a debut season for Sunderland plagued by injury. Peter Reid's only big money buy would have to sit and watch the rest of the promotion campaign. But first, the FA Cup third round replay against Manchester United, which brought by far the biggest gate of the season to date. More than 21,000 were looking to see if the Roker men could match the standards set in the game at Old Trafford. Remember, Steve Agnew had been the Roker hero, scoring the equaliser and creating the second for Craig Russell to take the lead in the first game after the team was a goal down. As good a position again would take some achieving.
Smith. Michael Gray. And Sunderland have taken the lead. Phil Gray got to the loose ball. Well, he just reacted quicker than anyone else. I don't think it was a deliberate pass through to him. It was just poked through a little bit aimlessly. But I'll tell you what, Gray was quick onto it. Put on their own brand of very neat football. Michael Gray. This is wonderful play from them. But for Schmeichel, it would have been a truly classic goal of interpassing in the FA Cup. Philip Neville can turn. It's turning out to be a siege on the Sunderland goal. Scholes! Well, the goal was coming, and Paul Scholes has stepped from the bench to provide it. 1-1 at Roker Park. Cantona. Retrieved again by Irwin. That was Sharp, who'd taken the corner. Andy Cole! Great on cue.
Peter Reid was able to make another modest outlay when he picked up Premiership experience for just £300,000 in the shape of Chelsea midfielder Gareth Hall, who'd been on loan. But an even more impressive swoop brought Irish teenage goalkeeper Shay Given on loan from Blackburn. The unknown 19-year-old from Donegal was third choice at Ewood Park, but he was soon to emerge as a mainstay of the promotion drive. Now, Leicester City had gone through a traumatic period of change that had seen their promotion hopes dented with just one win from their previous 9 games. New manager Martin O'Neill still hadn't won a game after 5 matches in charge, and Peter Reid handed full debuts to keeper Shay Given and to Gareth Hall, who was to have an eventful run-out in a match fairly short on incident.
Given had to check that one all the way. Heskey was the man there. He's waiting there. It's a yellow one and it's a red one, and it's a sad end to Gareth Hall's debut. And even Colin Hill seems to be saying that's ridiculous. It was a shove in the back on Heskey, no doubt about that. He'd been booked earlier, and he's off with a minute or so left.
Grimsby at home, 7 games on from that devastating 6-goal thrashing of Millwall, and Sunderland was still looking for another win. They'd slipped down from top of the pile to 7th and needed to get back to winning ways.
Gray prepared to go all the way and attack his man. 2 men there. Gray still coming up with the ball and a chance to knock it in here now. And the flying header pushed away. Phil Gray, the man in the middle. Michael Gray onto the left foot. Scott moving up as he likes to. He might well think of trying one. What a magnificent effort. It'll be Scott. What another great effort. That's the second one he's rattled the woodwork with. Knocked in deep. Well, that was different. And again, Given comes to the rescue. And again, it's Forrester who misses out. Improvisation there at the heart of that move, to say the least. Scott knocking it in deep. And Ord coming in at the far post, and he scored. The captain shows the way, and Richard Ord finally gets the breakthrough.
When Tranmere came to Roker Park, injuries had left Peter Reid's squad looking ominously thin. Kevin Ball, Paul Bracewell and Andy Melville were all missing. But Reid had managed to sign Manchester United's promising young forward Terry Cook on loan, and he went straight into the starting lineup for a game that proved desperately disappointing. When Craig Russell set up Phil Gray with less than 20 minutes gone, it was as good a chance as any all night, but there were to be no goals. February began with the clash between 2 of the First Division's real sleeping giants, as Sunderland travelled to Wolves. The Midland side had spent big but hadn't bought the results. Would money talk against Peter Reid's bargain boys?
Chance for Steve Ball, this could be number 1, saved by the feet of Given. And he's flattened, and referee Rennie points to the penalty spot, and Wolves have an opening here. He's successfully taken 2 penalties so far this season, and here is Andy Thompson to give Wolverhampton Wanderers the lead. Hamlin into the path of Atkins. There's a bit of space opening up here. Steve Bull, he could wrap another one in. The save is made, surely number 2, Don Goodman. And it's laid across, and they're all in here. It's goal number 3. Mark Atkins stole into the space, a punishing header.
The following week's home game against Port Vale turned into one of the dreariest games of the season, illuminated only by the arrival of a new star. Just after the hour, Peter Reid turned to a gangling 17-year-old from Tyneside to liven up the afternoon. Michael Bridges was an instant hit. With a hatful of goals in reserve and youth team games, the boy from Whitley Bay soon showed his confidence with a great shot on goal. 6 minutes from time, Craig Russell could have collected all 3 points when he cut inside and fired in the shot, only for the ball to brush the keeper and then the post. Very much a 0-0. Well, 1 goal in 6 league games meant Sunderland went to Portsmouth facing a crisis of confidence in front of goal. The team's most experienced striker, Phil Gray, was left on the bench at Fratton Park. The game, though, proved to be an absolute thriller.
Gareth Hall now picking it up, looking to switch it out wide. Kevin Ball into the middle there. Little touchdown for Russell with a good turn. And here comes Agnew, and that's 1-0. 8 minutes gone. Steve Agnew. Russell did really well to put that one through the defence, and Agnew a calm finish. Just over half an hour gone now. Pethick knocking it forward, and Hall's skipped his way through the defence and finished it off for the equaliser. 1-1 Paul Hall. On to Pike 4 in the middle. Kevin Ball going up for it as normal. Here's Russell. Russell trying to turn his man, and that was Pethick in there, and that's a penalty. Now, 5 Sunderland players have missed from the spot this season. Oh no, Russell is the 6th. Knight saves it. Really in the last minutes now. Portsmouth trying to find a way through some chaotic defending. Bracewell appealing, still going on. That's absolute chaos, but it's 2-1 Portsmouth. Cole Griffiths. Now Agnew, a last chance here perhaps for Sunderland to retrieve something, and Howie! He's done it! A storming header, 2-2. Great jump by Howie and in off the post.
A game where I think, oh, well on top, we'll win this, and then they've got one which is fluked in, and I'm thinking, no, and it's in the 88th minute, and I'm thinking, I don't believe this. How do they pick him up from here, like, because they have played well, the players have played well, and then we get a corner and Lee comes crashing in with a superb header. That, well, it's the start of them beating run, and that was a crucial goal, without a doubt.
Goal hero Howie had been playing in his alternative role as a central defender. Versatility is almost a family tradition, with young brother Steve switching so effectively from attack to defence with Newcastle. Howie's heroics earned him a place in the starting lineup the following Tuesday at home against his first ever league club, Ipswich Town. With Richard Ord back again, Lee reverted to his place at the front of the attack, but Ipswich had their own attacking ideas.
Milton out wide, causing problems again. He was not picked up at all, and a neat ball through. First time, and given down again. Stockfield making the break. Ipswich, very lively indeed. Scope up, that's a fine ball played inside the fullback. There's a real chance on here. Given goes down there and just turned up by Melville. Bracewell knocking it forward. Howie down for Russell. He hit it first time. Russell, it's a goal for Sunderland. Craig Russell kept on going, and he got his goal. 37 minutes gone, and Russell has always looked the man most likely to.
Former Middlesbrough manager Lenny Lawrence had taken over Luton by the time the Hatters came to Roker. He'd given them a definite short-term lift. Sunderland needed another super show from young keeper Shay Given, who still hadn't conceded a goal at Roker, to stay in it. Then they got the decisive goal of the game.
Russell and Howie looking to combine well then, but it's still Michael Gray with initiative. A ball flies in, and a great effort there from the skipper. Good, consistent pressure from Sunderland. Howie looking for the 1-2, perhaps Russell with a good turn. Michael Gray well placed. That's an own goal. Julian James from Michael Gray's cross. It was a good move developing there for Sunderland, but James stuck it past Ian Foyer, who had no chance.
Sunderland's game at Southend produced more than just a third win in a row. It also turned up a tremendous story which would have been so easy to miss. The weather was appalling, with the heavy mist making TV coverage next to impossible. Martin Scott saw off the penalty hoodoo to put the Roker men ahead after 53 minutes. Now this should have been a video moment to treasure for young Michael Bridges, if he could spot himself out there. The teenager had only been on an amazing 25 seconds when he cut inside and rattled in his first league goal on his fourth appearance from the bench. Terrible pictures, great result. So, with their first away win in 3 months behind them, Sunderland could go to Grimsby for a live TV game with the genuine belief that the team was on a roll. The Mariners had only lost twice at Blundell Park, but had drawn 9 out of 16 on their own pitch, and they hadn't won a league game for 3 months. Sunderland, in contrast, had now won 3 in a row and was starting to pull back the ground on runaway leaders Derby.
Michael Gray wide. Russell the furthest forward. Agnew stayed up there. Russell worked out wide to Scott. Good passing here from Sunderland. They need to provide the final ball in, though. Bracewell looks to try one. Still looking for that first goal since he came back to Roker Park. Bracewell. Agnew wants it on the far side, looking to get round the back of the defence. Got up well for it. Russell trying to stretch. It's a goal. It's Kevin Ball. Kevin Ball, the skipper, coming through the middle there, right up with the play and giving the Roker men the lead. Ball knocking it forward. Russell give it a chase. Oh, and Crichton's missed that one. Can Russell get to this one? That's a gift, and Russell has accepted it gratefully. That's 2-0 now, and suicide stuff from Crichton. Michael Bridges, the man coming on. Teenager got his first league goal in the fog at Southend within 25 seconds of coming on. Phil Gray. Michael Bridges trying to get into the middle. Gray tries one, start netting. Really is the skipper in every sense, Kevin Ball. He was man of the match against Ipswich recently. As Phil Gray tries one. Oh, that's an absolutely astonishing goal from Phil Gray. Absolutely out of the blue. And it wraps it up in some style. And I suspect when that whistle goes, Peter Reid really will have a big smile. They've not had the best of reputations on televised matches, Sunderland, in the past, but they've absolutely got that one right today. And a great away performance, and not over yet. Ray leaves it. It's 4. And Michael Bridges has done it again. Super sub. And that did make Peter Reid smile. I'm sure I saw it then. And Michael Bridges, his second goal in successive games. This teenager really has got something.
There's no better time, though, to strengthen a squad than when you're winning, so Peter Reid now moved for a long-standing target. Paul Stewart had already been at Roker for a brief loan spell, but now the former Spurs and Liverpool striker was joining until the end of the season. Stewart's career had been plagued with injuries, but the Roker boss was handing him the chance to rebuild his football life with a path back to the Premiership. What a showdown was set for Roker Park the following Saturday. Top of the table Derby facing Peter Reid's team, so hot on their trail. And what a game for Paul Stewart to make his second Sunderland debut. The club were looking for their 5th win in a row. Derby hadn't lost in 20 matches. Something had to give.
Stimac and Stewart up there. Stewart got to Agnew, really making up ground. And Russell! And that's 1-0 to Sunderland. It's Craig Russell again. A really fast break by the Roker men. Agnew chased it all the way, and Russell was hunting in the middle for the chance that came, and he tucked it away. And playing it away for Russell. Russell giving it a chase and looking for number 2. He really belted that one, and Holt, it took him everything to keep it out. And Martin Scott. Bracewell. The defence ready to sit and wait, and Scott's in a good position here, and that's 2-0. It's Agnew. Derby carved open again. They were left static at the back, and Agnew came in on the far side this time. Charles Lee, straight at Agnew. Kubicki thundering up the overlap. He tries one. It's a terrific effort that from Agnew out of nowhere, 30-35 yards. And he really let fly. Russell comes up with the ball as well. Stewart is away, the flag's down. Stewart now could make it 3-0 at half-time. But Holt stood his ground well. Now Ball's got the ball. Kevin Ball tries this shot. Really got hold of it, Kevin Ball. Not famed for his long-distance shooting, but that one really took off. Just approaching the halfway marker through this second period of 45 minutes. Third now would really put some distance on Derby. And there it is! It's Craig Russell! 3-0 now, Sunderland looking so good, and Derby have the mountain to climb now. Now Sturridge gets a loose ball. Sturridge with a chance, he's got Gibbon coming in there, and Gibbon again protects his record. Sticks out a fix to that one as Sturridge was bearing down on him.
Next stop, Oldham, as the Sunderland promotion bandwagon really started to pick up speed. 5 consecutive wins, but number 6 was to come at the death. Sunderland swept into a 9th-minute lead. Craig Russell's superb crossfield ball found Michael Gray, and the young Wearsider had the composure and presence of mind to lift the ball over keeper Paul Bernard. But Oldham snatched an equaliser just before half-time as the Roker men conceded their first goal in nearly 500 minutes of play. Lee Richardson, the first man to beat Shay Given in 6 games. 4 minutes from time and Kevin Ball got a priceless first goal of the season. Now Derby were just 1 point ahead and Sunderland had a game in hand. Now to another Sunday game live on ITV at Birmingham, who'd slipped away from the promotion race. A bumper crowd at St Andrews with the Blues 6 points off the playoff places after a spell where cup priorities seem to have taken over. Nobody ever knows what to expect from any team Barry Fry sends out, but they were always a long way second best to an unstoppable Sunderland.
Sunderland concentrating hard on retaining the ball in a good position as well. Through to Agnew, Agnew, goal! Steve Agnew, Sunderland ahead. The Birmingham players looking for a flag or a whistle, but the Roker fans are off their feet. And Agnew has struck again. Ray with the corner kick. Plenty of men attacking it. Hooked away when they could have perhaps left that one. Agnew, the goal scorer, and Melville. And Greenick's at the near post, and he had to be. Melville looking to get around the back door. Stewart now, and Michael Gray. Michael Gray on the right foot, not a bad effort. Not a bad effort at all, Michael Gray. Bracewell out wide again for Agnew. Kubicki going on an overlap and getting it and crossing it. That's a fine goal, Melville. Sunderland have scored again. Excellently worked and finished off by the man recalled today, Andy Melville. 2-0. Sunderland are cruising.
7 wins out of 7 had lifted Sunderland from 5th in early February to the top of the table for the first time since mid-December. The gap over third-place Crystal Palace was 8 points. Back at Roker, a chance to continue the winning run against Oldham, the side they'd beaten 2-1 just 9 days earlier. The target was a near 100-year-old club record of 13 straight wins, though maybe the 3 points would please Peter Reid just as much. Either way, it was a frustrating wait for a decisive move.
Richard Ord really going through his repertoire. And not a bad ball forward as well for Craig Russell. He gets it into the middle, and just over the top. Great football there. Agnew for Bracewell. Bracewell turns past one, will he have a go himself? He does too. So close, Paul Bracewell. Just coming up to the halfway marker in this second 45 minutes. Richardson's kick in there. And pushed over there by Gibbon. Good header by Richard Graham. Bracewell gets it into the middle. Away by Gannon. Scott is onto it. Little touch there from Bridges. Agnew, Scott. Scott going through. It's there. Martin Scott gets the breakthrough. What a vital goal for Sunderland. Brilliantly finished by Scott. Roker Park erupts with 9 minutes to go. Scott so heavily involved with that one. Picked his way through the crowd of defence. Kept on going, and when it fell again, he put it away so calmly. McCarthy onto this one, Gibbon. They're looking for the equaliser. Oh, Gibbon got to it. How did he do that?
So Sunderland were still top of the tree, and by the looks of it, heading for top of the pops.
Well, there's a gap in the market now. The take that have gone, so
yeah.
we're looking at corner.
Decided to exploit that as quickly as possible, you know, so here we are.
Simply red and white, hitting the right node with the record Cheer Up Peter Reid, as all the profits went to a children's cancer charity. Back at his desk, the boss was fielding the daily inquisition from the local press lads. He's built up a great relationship with the media in his first year in charge, and now they want to know about the future. And one name keeps cropping up.
As you know, Ian Rush has come out and said that Sunderland's one of those clubs you seriously consider.
You can count on me.
Reid doesn't give all that much away, but he knows what has to be done.
You can never stand still. And no disrespect to any of the players and anything who were smashing lads, but as a football club, you've always got to improve. I mean, they're all still here and they'll all have a chance if they want it. And it's up to them to prove. But I know I'm going to have to bring new players in. But I know I've got a solid base to work on. And if you've got a solid base, you've got a chance.
And Peter's more than willing to give a chance to all his squad, who've got nothing but praise for his leadership this season.
Gaffer's laid back in the way he likes to enjoy training, he likes football to be played the way he wants it. But it's also there that if he's not happy about something, he's prepared to tell you straight away about it, and I admire him for that.
His will to win was always there throughout his playing career, you know, and it's just rubbed off on the lads. He's brought Sacco in, Paul Bracewell, you know, Pop Robson, and done never so well. You know, great backup team, you know, it's helped pay dividends.
If you do things wrong, you'll get a rollicking, there's no doubt about that. But like I say, if you are doing well, he'll pat you on the back. It breeds confidence. Every player at the club's full of confidence, and that's down to the gaffer.
I think it's confidence with me. I mean, if somebody pulls us to one side and tells us that I've been playing well and things like that, I always get a big boost out of it. And the gaffer's been brilliant with us, really. He pulls us to the side and tells us to do different things in different games, and he's made my all-round game a lot more better, and I'm really enjoying playing under him.
Is there any chance of a smile or anything? That's very good. Have you cheered up? Oh, sorry. Is it? I mean, what do you think of it?
Song? Yeah. First day that I climbed, to be perfectly honest, and they're definitely better live.
Now Huddersfield had been one of the success stories of the season. Up from the second, they came to Roker Park looking for another promotion campaign. But this game was to be all about Sunderland's teenage scoring sensation, Michael Bridges. He still hadn't started a league game, but he was to prove in this one that he doesn't need the full 90 minutes to impress.
This is Russell. Gray, good first-time cross. Stewart, great save from Norman, and what a splendid move as well from Sunderland. Stewart did well to keep Michael Gray in the action then. Here's Gray, what a teasing cross. Norman, beaten to it by Tom Cowan. Norman came flying across, but Cowan had decided that he had to deal with that one himself. And now Huddersfield have got a break on. Jepson is wide, Reid is this side. Always kept up his run, and Melville got in the way of it. Edwards, it's a cracking goal. Rob Edwards. Here's Steve Agnew. He got the cross in, deflected over there. Equaliser. Kevin Ball, the skipper, comes up with a goal again. 2 minutes. That's all it's taken Sunderland to respond. Agnew square for Bracewell. Ball is onto it again. Great save, Norman. Huddersfield corner then. Jepson to take it. Hit pretty deep. It's a goal. Huddersfield have gone ahead again, and it's Booth who's got it. Sharply taken to find Stewart. Stewart shrugging off his man. And Agnew's in the middle again. Agnew came off at the post. Michael Bridges, who gets the chance to come on in place of Craig Russell. Agnew with the free kick. Ball at the far post, trying to challenge there, and Bridges is in there. It's the equaliser. Michael Bridges yet again. You cannot stop this young man getting goals, it seems, and that is so important for Sunderland. Kavicki gets the return, provides the cross. He's done it again, Michael Bridges, that's amazing! 3-2! What a superstar this young teenager is turning out to be. Off the bench, and he's turned this game around single-handed.
If you send a 17-year-old on with 15 minutes to go, you might get in. Well, you're hoping and you're praying and you dream and you get one, but to get to it, smash it.
Despite his late heroics, young Michael was back on the bench down at Watford. Graham Taylor's club were battling to avoid relegation. Sunderland were going for their 10th win in a row, but the form book was rewritten yet again.
Michael Gray really looking to get on a run here. Looking for what support he's got in the middle. And here's Craig Russell. It's closed up in front of him, but here's Agnew. Brilliant strike from Steve Agnew. Sunderland on their way again. Russell, the opportunity looked as though it might have gone. It was a good layback and a fine finish from Agnew. 1-0. Kubicki. Russell, again looking to hold it up. Stewart, is it now for Kevin Ball, the skipper? And Ball, 4 in 7 games for Kevin Ball, and he's absolutely delighted. Great layoff back from Stewart, and Ball was always going to make that his. 2-0 now. Watford really trying to find a way back into this one. Plenty of men ahead for Ludden to cross. Kerry Dixon's up there, and Tommy Mooney. What a fine goal from the former Scarborough man. Good run from Stewart, this. Plenty of strength on the ball as well. Now here's Craig Russell. 4 minutes to half-time, and that's 3-1 Sunderland now. Good work by Stewart once again, and Russell finishes it with great confidence. Watford right at the start of the second half then, and Mooney! Darren Baisley's cross, and Mooney's got a second 2-3. Just a quarter of an hour to go now. That's an awkward bounce. And Craig Ramage from 2-0 up. It's 3-3 now.
Well, the winning streak may have come to a disappointing end, but it was another night of celebration for skipper Kevin Ball. His 4th goal in just 7 games had been another valuable contribution to the team effort.
I'd like to think I've chipped in at times with a few goals that have helped us along the way to getting some points and that. At the end of the day, it's a team game, but we've all in somewhere or other chipped in.
One of Peter Reid's big decisions of the season was to move Ball forward into midfield alongside Paul Bracewell, a role he's now mastered after a few teething troubles.
Took a couple of days to get adjusted to it. First game I booted someone and got sent off, so I suppose it did take a couple, but there, it took a couple of games to adjust to it, and I'd like to think I've done myself justice. I thoroughly enjoyed myself there, chipped in with a few goals.
Somebody else who did themselves justice and thoroughly enjoyed his spell at the club was Shay Given. From third-choice keeper at Blackburn Rovers to Sunderland superstar in one easy lesson.
He was getting the coach at Haywood Park, and he was going to be sub for the reserves at Nottingham Forest, and spoke to Ray often and said, I'll stick the kid in. I just felt we needed a change there, and the lads responded tremendously well. And now, as we know, I think the Sunderland supporters have took the young man to the heart. And I must admit, there was 1 or 2 occasions I took him to my heart when he made a crucial save, but I thought he was a little bit jittery on his first game at Leicester, but he kept a clean sheet. And then, as we know, I think he's got 12 and 17, and he's now a full international.
Given's loan spell was extended to the maximum 3 months. How the Sunderland fans would love to see him sign a permanent deal at Roker Park. Now, a trip to Barnsley was never going to be easy, and remember, even though they'd only drawn at Watford, Sunderland still had that 12-game unbeaten run to protect. It was midway through the first half when they really took control. Michael Gray's corner was headed on by Paul Stewart, and Craig Russell showed his boundless confidence by sweeping in his 13th goal of the season. But the task became a major uphill battle when Paul Stewart clashed with Dutch defender Arjen de Zuur a minute before half-time. The referee ruled that Stewart had used his elbow, and that's violent conduct. Stewart was off. The whole second half with 10 men, but the Roker men dug in for victory, and the 1 goal was enough. That 10-man effort did take its toll, though, 2 days later at Roker, when promotion rivals Charlton Athletic were the bank holiday visitors. Keeper Alec Chamberlain was recalled for his first game in 3.5 months after Shay Given was left with chest injuries from a bruising clash at Barnsley. That was to be his last game. And there was a first start for young super sub Michael Bridges, with Craig Russell another Oakwell victim. But the whole team seemed drained as they struggled to put away the chances.
Stewart, the knockdown there for Bridges, has opened it up well for himself. Just couldn't get the return ball, but he's found it again and found Agnew. Ball's coming in there, great save by Pedersen, and Ball looking to be the man on the spot again. Lieburn, Jones providing valuable support, Ball tracking him all the way. This is Bradley Allen and Chamberlain, and here comes Linger, and Chamberlain saves again. That's Bridges there for Stewart. Ball was getting there, here's Aston. Fine save by Patterson. Stewart knocking into the middle there for Howie. It's another brave effort. There was some distance there to go when Howie connected.
Sheffield United had been completely turned around by Howard Kendall and former Sunderland number 2, Viv Busby. The trip to Bramall Lane came as the Blades rattled off 5 wins in a row, but the match proved the stalest of stalemates, with yet another clean sheet the only satisfaction, thanks to deputy keeper Alec Chamberlain. And so to the game that could virtually guarantee promotion to the Premiership. Birmingham were next up at Roker Park. Steve Agnew, who scored when the sides met just a month before, was one of the first to arrive. The Fulwell Enders turned up early to make the most of the atmosphere. Ever-present Darius Kavicki wasn't about to be late for this one. In fact, it was smiles all the way. Inside the ground, the hospitality was flowing freely. One of the club's biggest fans, boxer Billy Hardy, hiding in his own corner for once. There was a balanced diet for some before the game, while the club shop was balancing the books with plenty of action at the tills. There's been unbelievable demand for merchandise since Sunderland raced to the top. The fans are proud to wear the red and white stripes, just like the players in the home dressing room. Who's made the programme this week? A quick autograph before the game, and then it's into the treatment room. It's been quite hectic this season, and skipper Kevin Ball is the latest to require attention. Meanwhile, upstairs in the boardroom, Chairman John Featherstone was discussing the pros and cons of promotion with the club's former secretary, Jeff Davidson. Back in the dressing room, the boss had just discovered what he was up against.
Ooh. The way it looks here, he's gone with 3 at the back, 2 pushed on, which we don't mind. Different ways of doing it, stick with what we would go with. What's interesting? Football.
How you doing? It's almost the moment of truth. The man in charge is Terry West. He's not expecting any problems, especially from the mascots.
There you go. You'll come and see me in the middle, won't you?
See that?
Okay.
Yes.
There.
The stage was set for another memorable evening at Roker Park. It's now down to the starting 11 to put the plan into action when they cross that white line. The commentary team on the gantry was David Mills and Roger Thames.
Agnew's in there again. Stewart's touch. Michael Gray's come infield a bit. And then a try one. Oh, what a stunning goal from Michael Gray! That was a Premiership quality goal, if ever you've seen one.
An absolutely magnificent strike there. I mean, the goalkeeper's a little bit off his line here, but he just takes it in his stride, has a look up, and then he lets fly with his left foot. I mean, he's got no chance whatsoever, the goalkeeper there.
Scott will take this one. Two-man wall needs to be further back. They've all gone forward for it. Melville, Ord, Ball, all in the middle there. It's there, it's another one. And Stewart has got his goal. His first for the Roker men, and the one he so dearly wanted.
Well, it's a great ball whipped in here behind those 2 defenders, going away from the goalkeeper, and Stewart coming on there, heading it into the corner. Terrific ball in, and a fine header.
About to let his standard slip at this time of the season, Peter Reid. Bracewell can't be forward. Russell. Stewart, if he can look the return to Russell. Russell's away and through the middle here. Russell for 3-0. It's there. Craig Russell strikes. Meat and drink when you've got his sort of pace. And now they're really smiling on the bench. And on the terraces. And Craig Russell as well. Great strike.
Well, we see it here. Good turn from Russell. Get a fortunate deflection across to Stewart. He releases it early, and then Russell looks confident all the way through, doesn't he, against the big goalkeeper. And a composed finish there, just flips it past him on his right-hand side.
They can almost reach out and touch the Premiership, Sunderland. One more point, and it's absolutely guaranteed that after another convincing win, it really looks as though there's no stopping them.
The scenes in the dressing room said it all. Peter Reid knew there was no stopping them now. They could go up without kicking a ball the following Saturday, so the boss took a day trip to Darlington. He was met in the car park by his brother Sean, the real reason for his afternoon out at Feetham's. He's on Berry's long-term injury list. A quick autograph and the nail-biting could begin. Back at Tyne T Studios, we'd fixed it for Michael Gray, Richard Ord and Craig Russell to watch the game most likely to provide them with automatic promotion. Wolves against Crystal Palace was their anxious viewing for the afternoon. In the shadow of Broker Park, we were with the regulars at the new derby as they monitored the action in the other crucial game, Derby against Birmingham City. Teletext couldn't tell them, though, the agony that was piling on our three guests as the Wolves game unfolded down at Molineux.
It's not a bad ball in at all. Ball gets the layout there. Off the line. Simon Roger making a decent run from midfield. Dyer's trying to get in there as well, but it was strong work by Emblem, but also by Hopkin. Hopkin opens the room with a shot and he scores! David Hopkin, the skipper, has put Palace ahead. Stoppage time. Got it on there. Gets the post by Richards, and Palace escape then. Roberts. Holding there again, was there? But it's a goal all the same. Bruce Dyer. It's 2-0 to Palace now.
It wasn't looking too good at Molineux, but what was happening at the baseball grounds? Remember, a draw between Derby and Birmingham would still mean automatic promotion for Sunderland. Well, this is how the afternoon turned out.
Everything just a little bit hurried, but now Trollope lays it into the path of Simpson. Paul Simpson nicks it in. Long throw. Francis with the back header. Green with the goal. It worked to perfection. And there goes the final whistle. Crystal Palace are still on course. They've done Sunderland no favours this afternoon by beating Wolves by 2-0. So Sunderland's fate now all depends on the news from the baseball ground. And we're hearing that the final score is Derby 1, Birmingham City 1. Yeah! Sunderland are definitely back in the Premiership. They're promoted tonight. Yeah!
Very emotional. I'm ready for this evening, and I'm going to have a smashing night, and hopefully the lads can we can get a result tomorrow. And I'm not sure. I think that might get us the championship if we win that one. But
that's right, because it's a dream come true.
It's a dream. Well, I mean, Derby have true, but it's a dream come true. So I'm a happy man.
We've got the champagne ready. Oh, Peter. Cheers to Peter Reid.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Peter.
Cheers. Peter Reid's got to take an awful lot of the credit.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the three of us stood out, you know, he's been unbelievable for our careers, you know. We both went, all three of us weren't going really anywhere before he arrived, you know, but he stuck us in there, shown a lot of confidence in us, and it's beared fruit, you know, and we've all got a lot to thank Peter for, and so is the club, you know. It's an unbelievable achievement by everyone.
Everything was set up for the following day. The visitors, Stoke City, still needed points to make certain of the playoffs. The big game was live on ITV, and the Rotorua was at full volume as the fans got their first chance to say, "Congratulations, you've done it." More than 21,000 were in the ground saluting the achievements of Peter Reid and his team. They delivered more than even the most loyal fan had expected. But Lou Macari's side had their own incentives and were not about to hand over the win that Sunderland needed to be crowned First Division champions.
Potter making a good run and a good shot and a good save as well from Chamberlain, who did well to keep his little run of clean sheets going. Bridges making a lively run, trying to get round Sigurdsson, and Bridges is in here. Oh, so close! He had too much time, if anything. There's Aston, and there's Bridges, and Aston now's got a chance. Aston away, Howie is in the middle, Aston still going, and Michael Gray trying to turn it back on, but Wallace is back there, and Aston, who's yet to score for Sunderland, could have got a historic first.
It's a great achievement, but lads go out in the pits, the lads do it. The crowd about us, it's just, it's great for Sunderland as a city, great for the supporters, and I'm a happy man.
And everyone's happy that work has started at the former Wearmouth Colliery to transform the derelict site into a 40,000 all-seater stadium. It'll be a new home that all connected with the club can be proud of. But Sunderland are also saying farewell to Roker Park in style. Roker legends Gary Rowell and Charlie Hurley pulled on the red and white stripes again to launch the new kit. Gone is the red triangle on the shoulder, back are the hooped socks and the classic V-neck. Present-day hero Michael Gray modelled the all-white away strip with the new sponsor's logo. This was the manager's verdict.
All the lads will be proud to wear it in the disco, never mind the Premiership, it looks that well. No, the Premiership's the main thing, and I think the two kits are very smart.
Peter Reid was still the man in demand at today's photo call. His career started as Hurley's finished at Bolton, and he used to room at England level with Rowell. So what's the verdict from the stars of another era on his success?
He's done a great job, everybody knows that. He knows what's needed next season. He's played Premier Division football virtually all his career. He knows what it takes.
Peter Reid has done a fantastic job. Him and his backroom staff, the players, they play some good football. It's not just a case of getting promotion with a powerful defence. They play some great attacking football. I've seen many games down on the television in London. And I would say Peter Reid is the best signing you've made since you made me.
Well, you could have put Charlie's shirt on the final league game of the season at Roker against West Brom, being the clincher. There was a carnival atmosphere from the word go. Sunderland had already danced past the rest of the First Division to promotion, and now they were ready for lift-off. League sponsors Ensley had made a wise decision to bring their owl to meet the Roker Pussycat, and the championship trophy was in the club safe when the two sides got down to business.
Forward, looking for Howie. Got in front of his man. Howie looking to steamroll his way through. Just over the top. Good, strong work by Lee Howie. Owen Russell gets it back again well. 2 to beat, and he has done. Russell brings it back. Agnew miscued. Great work by Russell, but again they couldn't finish off the job. But now it's Kubicki. Howie coming in on it. Howie! Oh, the foot of the post! All over now. Sunderland are champions. Roker Park can party now. And for Peter Reid, it's that champion feeling. Sunderland take the title, and the defence has done it for them again. The 26th clean sheet in 45 games was enough to bring glory to Roker Park.
For the second week in a row, the Sunderland dressing room was definitely the place to be. It was party time yet again.
Been superb.
Fantastic day with fantastic supporters outside.
The supporters are brilliant, and I think they're all just looking forward to going up and seeing them with the trophy, which we set out at the beginning of the season. And then these players in the dressing room have achieved that. Full marks.
And here come the two of them, Peter Reid and Kevin Ball, skipper and manager, arm in arm, arms aloft, take the salute. Peter Reid, the man who worked the miracle, and Kevin Ball, the captain in every sense. Peter Reid gets his medal, might as well be the Victoria Cross as far as what they think of him on Wearside. And there's the trophy. Kevin Ball gets it from Michael Cotton, managing director of Ensley, and the moment they've all been waiting for. Kevin Ball holds that trophy aloft. Newcastle have had it, Middlesbrough have had it, and now it's the property of Wearside. The big three will all be together in the Premiership next season. It's been an unbelievable triumph for Peter Reid and his team. The fans could never have expected this at the start of the season. Now the lap of honour can begin. The two skippers today's and the season's, Ford and Ball, can start it all off. Kevin Ball has been such a skipper. The supporters there looked forward to this moment. They thought it might have come last week against Stoke, but it's just as sweet, whatever the timing. That cup will take some prizing out of that grid. 1976, the last time they won this league, the old second division. The theme tune is "We Are the Champions." There's no need to cheer up Peter Reid now. He's smiling all the way to the Premiership.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's all we wanted all season. And if I do well to get this interview with my teeth in, by the way, I'll do remarkably well. But yeah, the lads absolutely over the moon. Brilliant.
Famous old trophy. It's a famous old ground and a famous old club. Next season, they will say farewell to Roker Park in the Premiership.
Congratulations.
Yes, gentlemen.
What does it feel like?
Oh, it's magnificent, great feeling, brilliant, brilliant feeling.
It's going to be some party.
Oh, it is that. I don't remember a thing about it.
Peter Reid there, staying back from it all. He's been at the heart of everything that's been achieved here at Roker Park. And now he can take his salute. He's entitled to his own lap of honour. The players still continue their celebrations. But Peter Reid, 39-year-old Scouser, as Paul Bracewell, his number 2, holds the trophy aloft. Bracewell has been Reid's disciple out there. He's been the man that carried the doctrine out onto the pitch. A kiss for that famous trophy. And Paul Bracewell, his 3rd promotion in 7 seasons.
I'll tell you what, words can't express how pleased I am, not only obviously for the players and the management and that, but the boys have worked tremendously hard this year. It's all about this lot in here and all the other thousands that support us. Been absolutely fantastic. Do you know the great thing about it is we give them something to shout about today, and I'm absolutely chuffed to bits of them. If I see anybody out tonight, they're going to buy me a beer because I think they're getting sloshed out tonight.
The run they put together has been the key to it all. It's a marathon and it's all about who finishes the strongest. There's absolutely no denying that. 18 games without defeat. Only 7 league defeats, remember, in all his time in charge. He saved them from the drop. He took them from the floor to the ceiling. These players in absolutely no rush to leave the pitch. 9 months of work go into achieving this. Why hurry the magic moments?
Congratulations. What about this?
Brilliant, unbelievable. I've just seen my mates in the stand over there, getting them in. I'm letting the boys in there, coming. They're following us through thick and thin, you know. If I wasn't here now, I'd be up with them, you know. Brilliant, unbelievable.
It's superb. Enjoy the night.
Cheers, thank you.
Nice touch there from Kenny Ball, the skipper. Amongst those disabled spectators who follow the club so loyally. Look at the joy it brings. Bobby Saxton as well, the coach, at last getting his share of the glory. Peter Reid's backroom team have really done the job for him.
You're a man who doesn't like the limelight, but this must be fantastic.
Look at it, different class. It's 10 months, 12 months hard work, and you get to this, you just can't put a price on it. You just cannot put a price on it. You can't buy this. You can't buy it. Money can't buy it. It's just special.
These are the moments players treasure forever as they show that First Division Championship trophy to all the fans who maybe couldn't make it to Roker Park for that final game. They started from the famous old ground to take the trophy to the people and out onto the seafront at Seaburn. You can just see what it means to young and old alike. It's been such a season they could hardly have expected. Peter Reid there at the front with the trophy and the biggest smile on rear side. Paul Bracewell next to him, Bobby Saxton as well. The backroom team flanked by the players who've done it all. They were out on the streets in '92 after that FA Cup final disappointment against Liverpool. This time, as Richard Ord shows, they've a trophy to show the fans. Local lads on the bus as well as out there on the streets. The heart of the team, remember, from last season, Kevin Ball, the skipper, he knows what it's like to suffer disappointment, but now the joy of victory and the joy that this championship has brought. People of Wearside really giving the team a fantastic reception. Michael Bridges right there at the front. Hopes for the future for all of them. Risking life and limb, but no doubt they feel that's what the players have done. Guess what the favourite song is?
Peter, they're singing your song.
Well, yeah, obviously I like Falcon every time we've heard this, but it's a great day for the players and for the families, and of course for the supporters who've been absolutely magnificent.
I imagine you were bursting with pride coming along that route, just 1.5 miles, but you could have lapped that up all day.
Yeah, I mean that's understated because it was that much warmth and that much pleasure. And there's my best mate, and he's coming to see you. Brilliant. See me in my office Monday.
Paul, you had a civic reception with Newcastle. This compares with that. They've been fantastic today, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you what it means to the lads, obviously, to get in the Premiership. Delighted for the supporters. Tip of the iceberg.
You left the Premiership, of course, to come here to Sunderland, and now you're back. You feel it's all been worth it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask me why I left, but this is really why I left, to get Sunderland in the Premier League, and we've done it in the first attempt, first season. I'm delighted for the players and the managers, and let's look forward to next season.
What about this compared to the last time you made this journey along the seafront?
I remember the last time in '92, it was fantastic, don't get me wrong, we really enjoyed our day, but like downstairs said to me, what does it mean to you, how do you feel? And I said, football's full of cliches about people saying, oh, I can't describe the moment, I don't know what, and I'm telling you now, I can't describe the moment. I feel, must admit, really, really choked, and it's absolutely fantastic. Like, the lads have been absolutely fantastic, and it's been great. It's just great for the fans today. It's their day, and I'm so pleased for them.
Alec, you've delivered, and they've come back and they've given you so much in return, the fans.
That's right, yeah. I mean, we knew there'd be a good turnout, but when you actually see it, it takes your breath away, really. And, you know, as Kevin said, we're just really thrilled for them. You know, we've had a great night last night, and, you know, we're milking it, really, but the supporters are really enjoying themselves. That's the main thing.
You deserve it, fellas. Enjoy the evening.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Douglas.
Nate, this is becoming something of a habit for you, isn't it? Promotion parties?
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Obviously, it's absolutely brilliant for everybody at the football club, especially supporters. You know, it's a day to remember for everybody.
You've missed out a bit on the pitch since you joined, but you're joining in today and enjoying it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, days like this don't happen that often, you know, so you have to have a good time.
You're going to be fit for the Premiership then?
Yeah, I'll be fit in the summer. I'll be all right.
You're a good man. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the afternoon.
Thanks very much.
And we've got Steve Agnew as well. Fantastic celebrations as you came along that 1.5 miles.
Yeah, absolutely magnificent. I think the lads have just they worked so hard all season, and it's just rewards for the effort, determination shown throughout the season, basically. My hairstyle getting a bit sticky, Duncan, but as you can understand, it's slightly different from everybody else's.
That's always great to be individual, isn't it, Steve? That's the main thing.
Well, it certainly is, yeah. It's a little bit different, but brilliant. Everybody's enjoyed it. It's been a great day.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks very much.
And so to the final day of an action-packed season, and Sunderland travelled to the northwest, beat Tranmere. There were no last-minute nerves or tension here. Peter Reid's red and white army were out purely to enjoy themselves. The championship was theirs, and Tranmere, normally ever present in the end-of-season promotion playoffs, were down in mid-table, but they had a new manager. Sunderland were keen to preserve their record-breaking unbeaten run and finish the season in style. They certainly had enough chances in the lively first half at Prenton Park, and Craig Russell spurned the pick of the bunch. But after 38 minutes, Sunderland conceded their first goal in a month. Gary Stevens provided the cross for Kenny Irons to head out of Alec Chamberlain's reach, and it was 1-0 at half-time. But Peter Reid's men are renowned for never giving up on a fight. Russell chased the long ball to set up the best chance after the interval, Kevin Ball's shot is met by Steve Agnew, but his close-range header comes back off the post and is cleared. The match was as good as over, though, just before the hour mark. Martin Scott challenged John Aldridge inside the penalty area, and the referee, John Lloyd, decided to give the spot kick. Tranmere's new player-manager, the First Division's leading scorer, picked himself up to take it, and Sunderland's great run was over. Not that around 9,000 Roker supporters were all that concerned. For the third week running, players and fans alike made the most of the party atmosphere. Sunderland are champions of the NZ League Division 1, and the boss has lifted the club to new heights in a season to remember.
Oh, I could fly without wings on the back of British kings. A 3-year club can as happy as can be, 'cause the good times they are here and the Premiership is near. So watch out, world, as all of Roker says. Cheer up, Peter Reid, oh, what can it mean to a Sunderland supporter to be Tom Overly? We once thought of you as a scouter dressed in blue. Now you're red and white through and through. We had